Under Panama's labor migration laws, both residency visas and work permits are granted within a 10% limit of the total workforce, where specific guidelines are put in place. These regulations govern eligibility requirements, costs, restrictions, and guidelines for foreign workers. Panama's new migration laws set the new criteria for Panama's visas and work permit. Now we will talk more about this in detail in this video. Follow me. Eligibility to apply for a work permit in Panama. Under the new regulations, eligibility for work permits in Panama is subject to various categories and conditions. Equivalency to local labor. Foreign nationals may be eligible for work permits if their employment does not adversely affect local labor conditions or standards of living. Criteria for this category include a minimum of 10 years of residency in Panama, marriage to a Panamanian citizen, or diplomatic dependency. Percentages authorized by the Labor Code. The Labor Code sets specific percentages for foreign workers in various job categories. For example, up to 10% of the total workforce for ordinary employees and up to 15% for specialist technicians or trusted personnel. Special laws. Work permits may be granted under special laws related to specific industries or investment zones, such as free trade zones, multinational enterprises, and more. Humanitarian protection. Work permits can be issued for humanitarian reasons, including refugees, political asylum seekers, and stateless individuals. This category provides opportunities for those with unique circumstances. Special conditions. Certain conditions may apply to work permits based on specific circumstances. This may include employment in friendly countries, regularization programs, student workers, and temporary employees like athletes or artists. These eligibility criteria and categories ensure that work permits are granted in line with Panamanians' constitutional principles and labor laws, promoting fairness and balanced opportunities for both locals and foreign workers. How long can you stay in Panama with a work visa? The duration of work permits in Panama varies depending on the type of permit and specific conditions. Work permits, categorized as equivalency to local labor, may have different durations, such as these for individuals married to Panamanian citizens or long-term residents, which may be issued for extended periods, typically 2 years. These permits can often be renewed for additional 2 years. For work permits authorized by the Labor Code, the standard duration is typically 2 years. However, it may vary depending on the percentage limit defined in the code. Special laws may also specify their own duration. Special conditions, permits including those for students or temporary workers, typically align with the specific circumstances or the duration for the related program or event. Renewal or extensions may be possible based on the continued relevance of these conditions. It's crucial to highlight that the specific timeframes for each category of work permit are subject to the laws and regulations in effect at the time of application. Applicants should thoroughly understand the duration and renewal options associated with their specific type of work permit to ensure compliance with Panama's immigration laws. Applying for foreign worker permit within the 10%. For professionals seeking work permits in Panama, here's a step-by-step guide to the application process. Consult with an attorney, regardless of whether you are an employee or just an employer. Your first step should always be to consult with an attorney experienced in immigration matters. They can provide invaluable guidance and ensure your application complies with the Panamanian regulations. Determine eligibility with your attorney's guidance. Confirm that you can meet the eligibility criteria based on your employment category, such as equivalency to local labor, percentages authorized by the Labor Code, special laws, humanitarian protection, or special conditions. Gather required documents. Working closely with your attorney, you'll need to assemble all the necessary documents for your specific type of work permit. For a detailed list of these documents, please look further in the comments down below. Attorney submission. Your attorney will handle the submission of your application and all required documents to the appropriate government agency responsible for processing work permit. You should have a preliminary meeting with your attorney to provide all necessary documents or information. Review and processing. Your attorney will oversee the review process, during which authorities will assess your eligibility and documents. Be patient and prepared for a wait. Attorney-assisted permit collection. Once your work permit is approved, coordinate with your attorney to collect it. Your attorney can also guide you in the final step, including taking a photo for the work permit, ensuring a successful conclusion to the process. Seeking professional legal assistance at the outset can significantly streamline the application process and ensure compliance with all relevant regulations. Your attorney will manage the administrative aspects of your application, leaving you well prepared for the final steps of obtaining and finalizing your work permit. Facing immigration questions or business legalities, our lawyers are here to help you. We make it easy to get the legal advice you need when you need it. How long does it take to get a work visa for Panama? The processing time for a work permit in Panama can vary, but typically ranges from 1 to 3 months. However, applicants should be aware that factors such as type of permit, regulatory changes, and individual circumstance can extend the processing period to a maximum of 5 months. Staying informed and working closely with legal advisors is advisable to navigate this process effectively. Factors affecting processing time. Type of permit. The category of work permit you apply for plays a significant role in determining the processing time. While many applications are resolved within 1 to 3 months, some may take longer due to their nature and the requirement. Regulatory changes. Under this legal framework, the Panamanian government issued Executive Decree Number 4 on March 2nd, 2023. This decree introduces the unified text containing the new set of requirements and parameters for the approval of work permits for foreigners within Panamanian legislation. Notable aspects of this new regulation include the classification of work permits into various categories. How much does it cost for the work permit? When applying for a work permit in Panama, it's important to understand the breakdown of the costs involved. These costs primarily consist of government fees, and it's worth noting that legal fees for professional services from an attorney may apply as well. Can I work in Panama with a work permit? So, you might be wondering whether you can or not. Well, this answer is yes, but it depends on the type of permit you have. Here's a quick rundown of what's allowed. If you're working as a regular employee, whether you have a 10% work permit or a regular work permit, you're good to go. The same applies if you're a specialist technician or trusted personnel. No issues here. You're allowed to work. Got a job with a micro or small employer? Again, you're covered with both types of permit. Even if your employer operates exclusively abroad, you're still allowed to work with either permit. After 2 years of working, you can apply for residency. This is possible with both the 10% and regular work permit. If you're thinking long-term, you can also apply for permanent resident status with either permit. Want to sponsor dependents for their own work permit? That's allowed too. If you need to change employers, you can do that without reapplying for a permit with either type. Now, there are a few things to keep in mind. Jobs that require specific workforce percentages. With a 10% permit, you're limited by that cap. But with a regular permit, it's based on your employer's needs. If you're hoping to work independently or be self-employed, that's not allowed with a 10% permit. But it is with a regular permit. Some specific professions might not be open to you with a 10% permit, but they are with a regular permit. If your job doesn't fall within the 10% limit, you can't work with that type of permit. With a regular permit though, you're fine. Changing jobs frequently within a 10% limit, not a great idea. It could affect your permit renewal, but a regular permit, you're allowed to switch jobs more freely, even within the same employer. In short, both permits give you a lot of flexibility, but a regular work permit opens up more opportunities for you, especially if you're planning on staying long-term or working independently. This process can be very overwhelming, especially doing it by yourself and within Panama. If you need a lawyer to help you, you can go to www.ndm.com.pa, and our lawyers are there to assist you with your needs. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you and goodbye.